Awesome.
Hey, what's going on? This is the second installment of, I think it's called Isolate with You. It's a new video series that I've started. It's kind of funny to mention it like that when it's literally just me because I'm stuck at home. So we're doing the whole stay home quarantine thing. Radio shows are kind of on a pause right now because, well, we can't actually go to the station because we're staying at home. So it makes sense. How could I tell you to stay at home and not stay at home myself, you know?
True.
So last night, I posted the video with Brian Ortiz from Zabalba. They have a new record coming out tomorrow. It's going to be awesome on Southern Lorne Records. Shout out to my friend Sean from the Sharp Teeth. You know Sean?
What's up, Sean? I love Sean.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He watched the video, and he mentioned that I was using the microphone wrong. So I appreciate the feedback, and I am now not talking into it like that. I'm talking to it like this. I'm a radio guy. What can I expect? What can you expect? I'm new to this. So anyways, without any further ado, Brian McClelland, recently, amidst the COVID coronavirus, he was touring, which is insane. We're going to get into that. He's in a band called Fucked and Bound. He's in a band called He Whose Ox Is Gored. He's in a bunch of other things. Brian, how you doing, man? How are you holding up? It looks like you're kind of like amidst a bunch of awesome gear here. Are you just in a doom cave right now?
Oh yeah, I'm totally. I'm in my doom cave. It's actually my happy place. I'm doing all right.
Nice.
So,
yeah, man, you guys just got back from a tour. You guys went to Canada. You guys was it full US or was it just like East Coast thing?
we went and did East Coast, Fucked It Down, and then we took our friends Haunted Horses with us. We had put out a split last year, and we did West Coast touring last year, and we had a great time. So we said, hey, let's go do East Coast. And it was our first time. We kind of like, normally we just get in the van. We just jump in the van and drive. But our time was a little bit more limited, so we tried this thing where we flew to the East Coast, rented a van, rented a back line, etc. And then we went and did
like real rock stars.
Trying things. I think we made like $80.
Okay.
After all the expenses, but we got it done. We covered the expenses. So, but yeah, we flew over and took them with us. So we were just doing East Coast. We went to Canada for 2 dates. And we got out just before the shit hit the fan.
Yeah. So where were you when shit started to get really weird? Because there's a person I follow. She's like a metal journalist named Kat Jones. She posted a picture of you guys playing in New York City. She said like everyone's starting to quarantine, but this is like the soundtrack to the quarantine. When did shit really start to get weird on tour?
That was it. That was the night. 'Cause we let's see, we did like this whole run where we flew in and then we played the shows, and we were kind of ending in New York at St. Vitus, and then our label Atomic Action that put out Suffrage from Fucked and Bound, they're based out of Providence, so it was going to be New York on the 12th and then Providence on the 13th, and that was like kind of a big homecoming, our first time to like, we had tried to get out there previously, so we were like, yeah, as long as we just want to get these last 2 days. So we drove into New York on Thursday the 12th, and we were coming into the city at like 5 o'clock, and we noticed that like traffic's like nice and light going in. We were like, hey, look at that, And then all the outbound traffic was just slammed. It was like just
we're getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, everyone, and we're like driving in at 5 o'clock, and then we like turn on the radio or something, and they're like, yeah, the entire city of New York has declared a state of emergency, and we're like driving into town. So that was a little bit of an adventure. That was the first time where we were like, oh man, this might be getting serious, So
what was the vibe like in the van right then? Did it really change anything, or did you guys kind of panic, or tell me what that moment was like?
It's funny, like everyone has like their own like reaction, every group, you're always going to have like an array of reactions.
For sure.
And I'm like the guy where I'm like, it's probably fine. And like the house is on fire. I'm like, it's fine. It's fine.
You're like that meme with that little meme where everything's on fire. He's like, it's fine. It's totally okay.
everything's fine. Yeah, that's totally me. That's my whole disposition where I'm like, it'll be fine. And like Lisa's like reading the news. She's also helping me navigate through the city. She's usually our navigator. And then Matt, our drummer, and Ra, our bass player.
Yeah.
And then also Colin and Mike from Hunted in the van with us, you know, and me and Lisa are just trying to get to the club, and Matt and Ra, like Matt's like, oh man, like this could get weird. And Ra's like also like, it's fine, you know, but it's we'll see what happens.
Right.
And Mike from Haunted Horses is giving us like up to the second like news updates, and then we all just kind of like process and freeze, and we're all like, yeah, let's just get to the club and we'll figure it out, you know. And so yeah, we were playing St. Vitus in Brooklyn that night, and I love it. Fantastic venue.
Hell yeah.
But that was the first time where like we got there and everyone was just kind of like, oh shit, are we gonna have a show? I called the promoter and they're like, yeah, totally, we're just gonna proceed like normal. It's New York, like, you know, we're not fazed by much. So we were thankful for that. We showed up and got set up and had the sound check and everything. And then, you know, we were all just like kind of bouncing around saying hi to people and just trying not to talk about it, you know?
Yeah.
So we ended up, I think that night is when we had talked to Brian Simmons, who runs Atomic Action in Providence. We had talked to him like a couple nights before, but he was giving us the update and he was saying, hey, you know, the venue that you guys are supposed to play tomorrow night, AS220, they're having an emergency meeting. They may or may not cancel the show. So like, you know, just be aware of that.
Yeah.
So they had a meeting. They canceled the show for the 13th. And then we had just one extra day to kind of run around New York. And like, we had to do this big loop, like return the gear in the van and all that. So we only missed one show.
Nice.
Out of 10, which was pretty good. We got through 9 of them. And then we were just like sweating bullets trying to like get all this stuff back and be prepared to be at the airport. We didn't know if they were going to shut down domestic flights.
That's scary.
So lots going on.
But you guys kind of, like you said, you guys had that actually, I mean, crazy that it was routed and ended in the perfect time, because otherwise you could have just been stranded or all of your shows been canceled. It's nice that, you know, you had it like the week that you did instead of the week after, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, the whole time we were just like, you know, I remember when we were like looking at the itinerary, we're like, well, we could do this, or we could do like maybe like a week later. And the whole time I was like, I'm so glad that we grabbed that like window of time when we had it, you know. Yeah. I felt really fortunate that we like got everything back and got out and had very minimal trouble with that. So
well, I'm glad that you're safe and you're back. So now that everyone's kind of on lockdown, and that being said, we can leave our houses and take a walk outside if we want, but it is pretty much like a, you know, stay to yourself, stay inside, stay isolated. What have you been up to, man? You know, what have you been filling your days with?
A lot of video games right now.
What's the games of choice?
Currently I'm working on Sekiro, which is fantastic. It's like Dark Souls, Bloodborne. It's in that whole school, but it's like the samurai version. So it's a whole brutal world of getting murdered over and over by samurai. It's very fun.
Nice, dude. I remember what was that game? There was a game that I used to play. I don't know. Anyways, something Warrior, and there was like 7 of them. Anyways, whatever. It was a PS2 game. Someone listening or watching right now is like punching the screen like, I remember. But either way, so a lot of video games. You're holed up in the house. What's the idea about Fucked and Bound right now? So you guys are back from a tour. You guys, it seems to be kind of your priority these days. Like He Whose Ox is Gored. You guys, I haven't seen too many shows with you guys lately, but Fucked and Bound, is that kind of your priority these days?
Yeah, Fucked and Bound is the main band. He Whose Ox is Gored, we're not like active currently. So we're taking some time. We have some recordings that are still like in flux. We're still just figuring out what to do with them. But Fucked and Bound, it's like we have a completely finished album. We have 2 music videos finished.
Awesome.
Currently what I'm up to right now, like with all this extra time, is I'm working on this session. We had our tour kickoff on February 29th at Kame House, like the kickoff for that tour.
Yeah.
And that those guys are awesome. They record all their shows, they do video. So they did video for one of the songs for our new record. And then also they recorded it and just kind of sent us all the raw tracks from the session. So I've been going in and like learning some of the audio engineering, tightening up some of the live tracks. I'm working on, previously we've done a cassette, like a limited cassette that's called Live Shit.
Yeah.
And so we did Live Shit Volume 1.
Kind of like Metallica, Live Shit, Binge and Purge, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then this one is, I'm working on Live Shit Volume 2. So it's like just collected, compiled live recordings from different stuff, tuning up the audio. I think Live Shit Volume 2 is going to be a combination of live at Kame House from February 29th, and then also some demos from our very first recording live at Black Lodge from a few years.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Black Lodge.
Black Lodge.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you're on Atomic Action Records. Are you still doing your own label?
Yeah. Actually, all of these like small releases, like the Live Shit tapes, the split that we did with Haunted Horses, anything that's not like a proper full length, I usually put out on my label, Void Assault Records.
Oh, that's awesome. How can people find Void Assault Records?
Void Assault Records.
Just type in Void Assault Records.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm like kind of bad about promoting it. Like I just I put the label out, but I don't have like a website for the label.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can find me like lurking around in like hashtags on Instagram or something, Void Assault Records.
Yeah.
I think Discogs has like some of the releases on it, but that's a good point. I should probably put that together while we got some free time.
Keep it mysterious, Brian. Keep it mysterious.
Yeah.
All right. So I got a couple questions for you, man. What is a movie or a television show that you would suggest to people? Because a lot of people are holed up inside right now, kind of want to fill their brain with things that aren't, maybe too chaotic, want to distract themselves. What's something that you would suggest? Some media, whether it be a show or a movie?
Personally, I mean, I don't know about like, my personal preferences probably they fall outside of minimizing chaos.
Okay. So you just want to jump into it all.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something about like just a full chaotic world that like puts me completely at ease.
So if you want to do that, what would you suggest?
I mean, for that, they just put out, HLN is releasing Forensic Files 2. That's my favorite thing. I've watched probably 25 seasons of Forensic Files. I don't know. You guys have probably heard me talk about this on other shows. It's like my favorite thing in the world. People just getting murdered all the time.
Yeah.
But it's the science. You learn about science. And it's every episode. So
you're a true crime guy.
I love true crime. Yeah, true crime stuff. Definitely. And there's a whole world of it. It just happens all the time. There are things that you would never imagine. So people get murdered for like the craziest reasons all the time, and it's real.
So I'm sure you're familiar with the podcast My Favorite Murder.
Yes.
What's your favorite murder?
My favorite murder? Let's see. I don't know.
Actually, let's go with this one because they have a side podcast where they talk about hometown murders. And now, like, shout out to Georgia and Karen from My Favorite Murder. We can't steal their gimmick, but I just want to ask you about you because you're from a small town, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know any murders from your hometown?
Murders from our small town. I mean, there's stuff that happened over the years. I couldn't tell any like particular narrative. Like, I'm from Roswell, New Mexico. And,
so you know too much.
In a lot of ways, it's like a chill little small town, but there's also like, weird like sci-fi affixments to that. People like love the Roswell crash story of like UFO crashing. And there's like a ton of like weird local lore. Itch Witch. Or like,
what was that? You glitched for a second.
There's a local lore like in the Southeast that's the Ditch Witch, that she comes and steals children out of the ditch when they're playing. If your kids like go out and wander out with it, they go wander too far from home, the witch steals them and eats them or whatever.
Don't go near the Ditch Witch.
Don't go near the
Jesus.
ditch, man. Be home before sundown. You don't want to get ate by La Llorona.
That's insane. So
Yeah.
not no killings in particular, but definitely a creepy kind of vibe altogether. Would you say that like how was growing up in Roswell, like how did that shape you? Were there what was the music community like in Roswell, and how did you kind of discover, punk, underground, rock and roll, weird music?
I mean, for a small town, like I'd say that I actually had like a really like nice little gateway into it. We had a teen center in Roswell called the Unity Center
Awesome.
that I used to hang out at after school. They had like vocational classes. We had a little skate park. We like lobbied the city and like actually got some funding and built like a real skate park eventually.
That's awesome.
Because for a while, it's just plywood and garbage, and they're like, we need to fix something for you kids. But through going to the Unity Center, they would have punk shows and things like that. And I booked my first show at the Unity Center at like 13 years old. So like that got me into it, and just going to shows there, having all my local bands play, and then like we learned about like, oh, there's this band that we like let's try and have them come play at this place, and we'll put our band on the bill, we'll open for them.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. That was always like a really nice like gateway into it. So
What was like some of the coolest shows that you remember playing? Like maybe some of the bigger bands or some of your favorite shows or back then?
there was like, I mean, a lot of it was regional stuff. Like we used to get like cool, like gnarly like bands from El Paso or something would come around. We booked this band Pissing Razors like
Oh, I
years and
remember
years.
Pissing Razors. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Really crazy name. I remember the name more than anything, actually, because that sounds
Yeah.
very painful.
Yeah, totally. And then there was like this band from like the early mid 90s. They might even still be going on today, but this band from Las Vegas called Hemlock.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember the name.
They were just nuts. They were like a weird like new metal like road show, and they would show
Oh,
up and just get the crowd so riled up. And they
freak
had
show
this,
stuff.
they taught me about merch. They had like the most insane merch.
Yeah.
Like all the time they had like branded everything. They had like lunch boxes and thermoses, like all this crazy shit. So like, but we would book them. They would just be out on the road like all the time. And they're like, hey, do you have this date? What about this date? We're coming back. We'll be through in April. And we're like, yeah, let's do
Cool.
it.
Yeah. Your
It's just like,
Hemlock's main support.
yeah, we're like 14, like, yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome, like learning about the process. So
Speaking
yeah.
of merch, I can't help but notice you have a pretty cool sweatshirt on. What is that?
This actually, I got this from Lisa. It's
Nice.
funny you ask. This is a booking agency out of Russia
Oh, wow.
called Grains of Sand. She got it while she was out on the road with daughters, and I steal it all the
It's
time.
really cool looking. It looks kind of like a black metal thing or something, but yeah, it's really dope. Does it fit nice?
Oh, it's so comfy.
Okay, well, since you are, someone who learned about merch, so I am a t-shirt collector. What
Yeah.
are your favorite, or no, what are some t-shirt faux pas for people that maybe are like younger, they want to start a band, they want to make some t-shirts? What are some faux pas, some things you would tell people, don't do this?
Oh, that's interesting. I
Are
like
you
that.
like an anti-Gildan?
I definitely think that if you're gonna make shirts, you should buy a sample first before you order your big batch,
Sure.
right? I use a shirt supplier called Jiffy Shirts,
Okay.
which is fantastic. I highly recommend them. But you can go on and kind of search through all the different kinds of shirts and order a couple. They're like $3-4 a piece.
Yeah.
But like find a good fit. Like we have one that's like a cotton poly blend. It's nice and soft.
Hmm.
I'm a big fan of like you should want to wear it. It should be
Oh,
like comfy,
absolutely.
right? And then I always think about like make a design that you would want to see, that you would want to wear, and think about like the shirt design as in real estate, right? So it's
Mm.
like grab like whatever information you want to communicate on your design, make it like eye-catching, try not to bury it too much.
Yep.
But have fun with it too. It's all art. There's no wrong way to do it. Whatever you like.
I don't know. I do think that there are some that are a little much, like the t-shirts that have just like heinous, like ridiculous phrases on the back of the shirts. Those are a little played out, like the kind of like deathcore shirts that say like "I'm gonna beat your fucking ass" or something. You know, like
Oh
"curb stomp you, you motherfucker" in like huge letters. Looks like a
yeah,
Monster Energy drink shirt.
yeah, yeah. We when Ox was touring for a while, we called that the what was it? Like the Fresno print or something, like the Fresno deathcore print, where it's just like this
Yep,
big.
and it's just all impact font.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
We
awesome.
made one at that time because we were like looking at that concept. We were like laughing about it. We are like, yeah, people just put the most ridiculous phrases. And
Yeah,
then so we made a shirt for that tour after we kind of figured that out. And it just said, "Tuned down, turned up."
nice.
We printed that as big as it could get. And people loved it.
I
Gotta
saw
have
one
fun.
that literally it was this band Internal Affairs, awesome band, but they had a zip up hoodie and it in you know how like they have the Bane hoodie with 2 letters over here and 2 letters over here, but it just said
Yeah,
fuck FUCK and you zip it up. You're like
wonderful. A plus,
um
A plus.
nice statement. So what have been some of your favorite albums recently? I know I don't know. Have you been staying up on new stuff, or is there like a constant kind of rotation you go through? Do you listen to some old stuff, or what have you been listening to lately?
You know, I was thinking about that. Like, I have like some of my favorite records that I always go to,
Yeah.
but then recently, you know what I've been loving like more than anything lately?
What's that?
It's just the newest Tame Impala. I'm like
Oh,
so
okay.
basic for saying, I feel so basic for saying that, but
Hey,
it's
it's
so
good.
good.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so catchy. Slow Rush, Tame Impala. Great album.
Nice.
One that Lisa introduced me to. So Lisa works at Roland Cloud in downtown Seattle,
That's cool.
and they've got friends that artists that are always kind of coming by and kind of touching base, and she does artist relations.
Yeah.
So she'll like meet all these really cool artists and be like, "Oh my god, you have got to check this guy out." uh Donnie Benet.
Okay.
Donnie
Donnie
Benet.
Benet. Never heard of him.
Donnie has an album called The Dawn that is
Mm.
amazing. He's about to put out a new record, but he's like a Australian guy that he's a studio musician
Okay.
that played bass, and then he sang on his last record. He did all of the vocals, all the production, but real smooth. It's like Tame Impala if you want like some fun stuff, but just a little bit more satirical,
Hmm.
just a little bit smarmier. He's got like a skullet and wears like a pink business suit all the time. He's just a total character.
Sounds like Vice magazine.
But he's so slick. Like he's smooth as bass lines.
What's his name again?
Donnie Benet. I'll send you a link.
Donnie Benet. All right, I will check it
Oh
out.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, so speaking of that, like favorite albums and stuff, I don't personally believe in guilty pleasures because I don't think we should really feel guilty for anything we enjoy. But we all
Absolutely.
know the term guilty pleasures, though. Like, you know, using that terminology, like, do you have any, guilty pleasures, things that like, people might laugh at you? You said people would call you basic for liking Tame Impala. What's some, you're more. I personally, I love Madonna. I do love
I
Madonna.
love Madonna.
What are some guilty
Oh, I
pleasures of
love
yours?
Madonna. I agree with you. I don't really believe in the guilty pleasures thing either.
Yeah,
That's why I always just lead with the most ridiculous one. Like, oh,
sure.
that's what I'm rocking right now. But as far as like maybe a little embarrassing, I definitely like maybe have like some Static X in my playlist right
Oh,
now.
he's a loser. Yeah, dude.
Is
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna
dude.
tag Raw in that. Him and I were getting down to that on tour. That was fun.
Wisconsin Death Trip. Hard.
Absolutely. Rest in peace, Wayne. Miss you, baby boy.
Every day, every day.
Every day.
All right, just a couple more questions here. Brian, what is your ideal trash food on tour or just even at home? Just like you're like, man, fuck today. I'm just gonna eat some bullshit. What is your favorite
Trash food?
trash
Oh,
food?
I love fantastic question. On tour, I usually I don't drink, so I
Yeah.
try and go out and I eat the most ridiculous food I can get. So that's always a fun one. This tour was all about every single day, like we were kind of going back and forth, like we were in the US and then Canada, back in the US. And so I was like, you know what? I'm on the East Coast. I got to try it. I got to get some Dunkin'.
Okay.
You know Dunkin'? World
I
runs
know.
on
Yeah.
Dunkin'.
I'm from, New Jersey, man.
Yes. You know.
Yeah, I know Dunkin'. I can't say I necessarily like Dunkin's coffee. It's terrible, but the donuts are
Right.
pretty good.
Yeah, so I was spending my time on the East Coast. I was A-B'ing some Dunkin', and then we go over the border, and I got to check out Tim Hortons.
Absolutely.
You know? So I'm going back and forth. They each have, I also like, I'm a vegetarian.
Yeah.
So like they both also introduced like a sandwich that's like impossible or like beyond meat with
Okay.
like
Yeah.
donut buns,
Oh my God.
right?
It's over.
It's garbage. And I love it. It's my favorite thing. So
That's amazing.
I had to eat those.
Last question here for you tonight. What is your ideal soundtrack to the apocalypse? If this world were to end, like it kind of seems to be, let's be obviously positive here, but there's a lot of crazy shit going on. What's your soundtrack to the apocalypse, Brian?
Soundtrack to the apocalypse. That's a great question. I mean, my first instinct, I might say, where is it? I got my record.
What's he reaching for? What's he reaching for? Oh, yeah, The
Disintegration
Cure.
by The Cure.
Yeah, that's a beautiful soundtrack to the apocalypse.
That's an amazing album. I might put that on and just
Wilt away.
Oh yeah, I might go with that. I also really like M83 Saturdays Equal Youth. That's an amazing record.
That'd be like a really kind of poetic way to end the world. That would be a very that'd be like a really artistic film ending to the world with some M83. I like that, man. I thought you were gonna say like some crazy grindcore, but no, dude, you went the other way. I like it.
I mean, I could just put on Scum by Napalm Death.
There you go.
Just end it with You Suffer.
Exactly. And the world ends like that. Brian McClelland, so thanks for taking the time. Where can we find your bands, and what's something you're looking forward to in the next couple weeks? Because I know we're all going to be kind of holed up. What's something you're looking forward to, and when's the next Fucked and Bound record coming out?
That's what we're working on. Everybody feel free to come check out our new website, fuckedandboundofficial.com.
Ooh.
Official. We're also on Instagram, Fucked and Bound Official on Instagram as well. We have, like I said, a finished album. It's called Love Is Alive, Filth Is Eternal. We
Awesome.
have all of that all set up. We're just working out the pressing details with our label right now. And so I don't have an exact date, but that's going to be coming very soon.
Very cool.
And then also Live Shit Volume 2 on Void Assault Records.
Nice, dude. And, aside from the band, what's something you're looking forward to in the next couple weeks?
I'm looking forward to going back to work, going to see some friends.
Yeah.
I miss some of my coworkers. I think everyone's doing okay. Once we sort of like get past the shelter in place, we're going to start setting up some events possibly again for the venue.
Oh, there's going to be concerts again in the world?
Oh,
wow.
I heard there might be. So
do you think we're all going to have PTSD and not want to be next to each other?
Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be a very interesting, like, warming back up to society period, right?
Are you going to go to like a death metal show? Are kids going to be moshing again? Or are they going to be like, have like bubbles, be like bubble mosh, get like protective suits to do a stage dive?
I saw a meme that was like Flaming Lips 2006. And it's like Wayne in the bubble on the crowd.
He was ahead of all of us.
Flaming Lips like 2021. And the whole crowd is in a bubble. And like Wayne's just
Yes, absolutely, man.
Yeah. So we'll get some more shows on the books over at the lodge, and I'm looking forward to that. Like,
yeah,
we've always had great crowds, good, just friends having fun. Some of the hardcore shows recently, like Regional Justice Center and like
great
Video Prick and like Lysol, all these bands are just, kids are moving, so I don't doubt that energy is there. Like, I know that's going to be there.
I like it, man. Right on. Brian, any last words before I let you go?
Hey, take care of each other. Just be safe. Stay well, everyone. We'll see you very soon.
Wash your hands, Brian.
Wash your hands.
All right. Have a good night, bro.
Night, Kev.